It's so funny how just a few months ago I was discussing how it would be a pretty terrible idea to buy or lease out the Acura RDX. And look where we are now. We're in August and it's still a pretty terrible idea to buy or lease the Acura RDX. Just not as terrible as it was back in January. One of the reasons being is that Acura is offering a pretty decent interest rate on both purchases and leases of the Acura RDX. And what do I mean by that exactly? Right now, Acura is offering a money factor on the RDX that's in the ones, the 00100s. Not to mention they've got a promo APR available on the RDX that resembles something like what they would have offered back in 2019 or 2020. Now, as far as inventory goes, right now there are about 3,386 RDXs in the United States, according to Cars.com data for today. An outstanding 4,315 Audi Q5s, which I was not expecting at all. 1,784 BMW X3s, 1,936 Lexus NXs, 1,868 Infiniti QX50s. Very surprising to see that BMW has the least amount of inventory available out of all these vehicles that are on the list. I was expecting the Lexus or the Infiniti to have the fewest, and I was just surprised. However, I would probably assume that BMW would more easily accept an order on the X3 as opposed to just having one available at the dealership. At the moment, there's about 583 A-Spec advances, 959 A-Spec, just the regular A-Spec, non-A-Spec advance. Very, very confusing trim level differences we're having here. 912 tech packages, 538 bases. For my negotiation guide for today, I've picked out an RDX A-Spec, not A-Spec Advance, just a regular A-Spec with an MSRP of $48,995. Right now, Acura is offering a promotional APR of 3.9% up to 60 months. It's a fantastic opportunity to go in and not have to worry about financing if you were considering purchasing the RDX. $1,000 currently available to anybody that owns an Acura in the household. You get $1,000 just for being a loyal Acura customer, and you get $500 if you've got a competitive vehicle. So if you've got like a BMW or a Lexus that's comparable, or even a Tesla in the household, you could get yourself $500 in what's called a conquest rebate. I want you to target a discount of more than $2,000. Here's why I say this. I've never actually seen a discount coming from the dealership of more than $4,000. So I want you to target more than $2,000 when you go there to negotiate, but try to get at the very least $2,000 off the Acura RDX. Why do I say this? The Acura RDX has been out for quite some time. Now, not to mention, they do have incentives, which points to the fact that they are going to want to get rid of the Acura RDX where it is right now, as in the model year is a 2023, and we're in the middle of 2023 with 2024s expected in a couple of months. I would be targeting a discount on the RDX. I wouldn't be settling at MSRP very, very easily. If you live somewhere where there's just not that many Acura dealerships and you're just getting it at MSRP for the convenience of just not having to go out of state and just getting the vehicle now, I get it. But if you live somewhere like where I live, I would definitely be trying to pursue a discount of a little bit more than $2,000 off of this thing. The lease program is not all that special. It's not going to make you feel all warm and tingly inside. A 56% residual at 36 months at 12,000 miles a year, and a 0.00144 money factor. Plugging this all into the lease calculator and assuming you're getting the RDX with a $2,000 discount, Assuming that we're paying just our inception fees due at start, so your first payment, acquisition fee, doc fee, registration, all that stuff due at start, payment's not that terrible. I mean, not as terrible as I was expecting, but we got $650 a month. That's not including sales tax, you guys. Assuming you got it at MSRP, you're talking about $700 a month. Really, it's not all too terrible on the RDX A-Spec. If you're expecting a payment in the 500s, I wouldn't have gotten a $500 payment back in 2020 or in 2019 for that matter. It just wasn't possible at the time because of a really ridiculously high money factor. You can actually see from one of my videos back in 2018 or 2019 that the money factor on the RDX was really high. A comparable Q5 would be leasing out for about $797 per month, an NX at about $745, and a QX50 at $769. I want to remind you guys that in the description below, you're going to find various resources to help you navigate the car buying process with a bunch of tools handy so you can get the very best deal. And if you found this information useful, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.